Okay, we're doing something, well, I was gonna say we're doing something different. I've done it before, but we're kind of doing something different. I don't know how to describe it. Today I wanted to do my makeup, my base makeup, and then I wanted to talk to you about some tips that I have for YouTube viewers. For all you YouTube viewers out there, I don't care what topic you're watching, I don't care what subject, topic, category, niche, whatever it might be. I got tips for you for how to interact with it, okay? Maybe it's helpful, maybe it's not. I don't know. You can decide. And then you'll let me know in the comments. If you're like popping in out of nowhere, this is a makeup channel, so I'm gonna be doing my makeup while I chat about this stuff, and all the products, while I won't be talking through them, will be linked down below. Listen, as a YouTuber, as someone who has been on the internet for a minute now, I'm here for you, okay? My tips, my ideas, I'm here for you. I've seen a lot, and I'm here to share it with you today. So my first tip for how to interact with the internet in general, YouTube though, is don't. Just kidding. But do take breaks. Yeah, don't do it. Oh God, don't do it. But do, because like it would be a problem. I wouldn't have anybody. You wouldn't be watching this thing, and I wouldn't be telling you these tips if you didn't. So I think one of the most common mistakes that I see, and this applies to all of the internet, not just YouTube, but it happens a lot on YouTube, is just reading the title. I think this happens with articles online. I think this happens with even newspapers, maybe lots of, I would say majority articles online. But I do see this a lot with YouTube videos where someone will leave a comment on a YouTube video, and it's very obvious that they didn't watch the video, that they just saw the title and it elicited some kind of an emotional response based on whatever the title might be, and then they left a comment about whatever they assume the video is about. Rookie mistake, bro. Rookie mistake. Titles, I feel like people have a misconception that titles or thumbnails are clickbaity or are clickbait if they are maybe a little bit animated or phrased a certain way. Clickbait is you're baiting some... Siva, she literally does this every single time I start filming. It is like so incredibly rude. Is it as soon as I start talking that you're like, I need to steal ornaments and I have to play with them? Ugh, you just like need attention? Where did you put it? Where are you hiding them all? You are a troublemaker. Clickbait is when you put anything, something inflammatory, something that will catch the eye. It's like, have you ever watched those funny meme videos on YouTube? My boyfriend and I watched some last night. We clicked it because there were owls in the thumbnail, okay? And I was like, I want to see the owls. I've fallen for this. There's got to be owls somewhere in here. Not a single owl in the video. That is clickbait. They're just trying to get you to click on this so that they get the views. Maybe you'll stay because you see some other stuff or whatever. That's clickbait. I don't think it's clickbait if you take a still from a video that might be like animated or silly looking that has something to do with what's in the actual video. Wait, why did I start talking about clickbait? I can't remember why I started talking about clickbait because the cat interrupted me. I feel like a lot of people, maybe not a lot, it's tough to tell with the internet, don't want to click or assume clickbait, and so they don't click, but they still read the title and then leave their comment, which is, it's kind of an interesting look into human psychology, because I think assumptions are kind of like a natural thing that humans do, making assumptions, deciding threats, filling in the gaps of information. I think that's like a natural thing that humans do, but it's something that like everybody should be aware of, because obviously if you don't have all of the information, you can't truly make up your mind or make an opinion or make a comment that is like well-informed, right? It's the opposite of that. It's not well-informed because you didn't see everything. So my first tip would be watch it before you comment, or don't leave a comment. Because if you don't watch it, you just read a title and then you comment, you're giving yourself away completely. The next one is watch a little longer before you comment. And the reason that I'm bringing that one up is because another way of giving yourself away is when you pause the video because you see something and then immediately comment. And then 2 seconds later, the person like says whatever your question was or answers or gives context or whatever elicited your emotional response. So that next one is just keep watching. If you choose to watch a video and then you come up on something that once again elicits an emotional response, just keep watching. Watch a little bit longer, because if you don't, you're probably giving yourself away again. That happens a lot. Sometimes it's just people like getting excited about something, super harmless, and then they'll go back and edit their comment afterwards, from my experience at least, and be like, oh, you answered this question, lol, which I don't mind at all. But when somebody says something like accusatory and they clearly didn't watch the rest of the video because I say it like 2 seconds later, very frustrating, very frustrating. An unfortunate result of the internet has been assumptions. It's sort of this like filling in of information. It seems to be a lot of people who are interacting with the internet don't realize that other people might not know the things they know. They assume that the people out there know exactly the things that they know. Which, like, when I say it like that, is probably pretty obvious to most of you that, like, obviously that's not the case, right? But it's kind of again, I think it's like a natural human instinct to be like, well, I know this. And it's not a conscious one, but you just think like, well, I know this. It seems obvious to me. So like this person must know it. And therefore they are being insincere or they're being misleading intentionally or something like that. When I would say most of the time, that's not the case. I would go as far as to say that like the majority of people are not going out of their way to be assholes for no reason. There's usually some kind of a reason. Or if they leave something out, some kind of information, if they omit something, it's not usually intentional. It's just that like they forgot. You ever forget? It happens to people. Which brings me to comments. Finally leaving a comment, interacting with the internet, commenting on a commenter's comment, commenting on just like a YouTube video that you've watched, an Instagram post, a Twitter post or whatever. My third observation or tip, I don't know if this is my second tip or third tip. I think it's my third tip. Think about how you would say that comment if you were speaking to this person in the flesh, in person. Do you fuck with the whore? And I don't think you need to be like, oh, how would I talk to like my mother or my brother or like someone close to you? I think the best way to think about it is like, how would you phrase this if you were speaking to a friendly acquaintance? Someone that you like kind of know a little bit, but like not that well, you know, because obviously you can talk to the people like super close to you in a very different way. Like I would say something to my brother that's way more harsh than someone that I was like interacting with at the grocery store, you know? As a YouTuber, I receive a lot of comments, obviously. It's super interesting to see like how people interact, what they think is okay or whatever. I don't know. This has happened like a few times where I receive comments from someone that are like really rude or really harsh, kind of out of nowhere. And I address them directly and be like rational about it, kind of like, well, that sucked. Like that was kind of rude, you know? And that person will respond and be like, I'm sorry, I'm having like a really bad day. I shouldn't take it out on you. Which if you think about it, it's one of those things where like the people close to us, the people who we interact with on a daily basis are typically the ones who get it the worst when we're like when we're in a bad mood. Like when I'm in a bad mood, my boyfriend gets it the worst because I live with him. I have nobody else to take it out on, you know? He's really the only person who I really trust with like that side of me, you know? With like the worst side of me. And we have a certain relationship where like if I'm taking out a bad mood on him, it's easy for me to be able to like reflect, and apologize. The internet doesn't really allow for that very much. You know, with some YouTubers, I think, you probably do interact with them almost on a daily basis. I mean, I put content out there like pretty regularly, 3 times a week. There are other YouTubers who, I don't know, maybe it's once a week. Regardless, you're tuning in pretty often. So you might feel like you're closer to them than you actually are. And that's like kind of a conversation about parasocial relationships, which I think is fascinating. But I think that like reaction can be really understandable but it's also not. Something to be aware of, I think. So when you're interacting with people on the internet, you kind of have to remind yourself of certain things. That like, this person isn't someone I'm super close to, but they're also probably not like evil scum who deserves to be like put down in such a way. Because when it comes to comments, when you remove that human element, and I'm not talking about like comments towards a YouTuber, not just talking about myself right now, I'm talking about like how you interact with just people leaving comments in general, like responding to comments, leaving a comment, having a conversation in the comments. When you're in person and you say something shitty to somebody, you have to suffer the consequences. You know, like if you're rude to someone in person, at the very least, you have to see how it makes them feel. Typically, making someone feel like shit doesn't feel very good to us. When it's the internet, you don't have those repercussions. You just get to say it and move on. And it doesn't really matter, you know, to you, because you can just kind of like, all right, like I am in a bad mood and I got that off my chest, but I get to kind of like go on with my day. And now you may have just ruined that person's like complete month, you know? Another thing to keep in mind, if you're a rational person who doesn't really interact with internet comments at all, YouTube comments, Twitter, whatever it may be, typically those loud voices that are like crazy saying a bunch of shit, very small minority, just an angry small amount of people who are stirring up all the trouble. So I don't think that when you read those comments, I don't think it's a good representation of real people who are out there. You know what I mean? Like there are only so many people who are just on the internet all day interacting with it constantly, you know? So for all my rational peeps out there, don't get discouraged. The majority of people are like you. They'll probably like pop in every once in a while, watch a video, maybe give it a like, and head on out. You know what I mean? Don't lose hope. My fourth tip, are we on 4? Is to check the description. Now this is just a little vendetta for me, personally. It kind of drives me crazy when people ask me like what a product is that I used. Typically, a YouTuber will put all the info that you need to know in the description. It's actually kind of interesting to me the amount of people who don't even seem to know that there is a description box with like links and just like all that stuff. It's a description of the video. It's got typically links, disclaimers maybe, I don't know, answers to like, sometimes people have frequently asked questions down there. Don't get me wrong, I am the queen of leaving something pertinent to the video out of the description until people yell at me and then I put it in. But typically, especially if it's something that like the video is about, it will be in the description box. So you can check that out. A lot of the time people put it in your like pinned comment at the top. I know sometimes I do. I do get kind of frustrated when I say something will be in the description box and then I get comments asking what it is. Because I put it there, I linked it, I made it so easy. So this is just me airing my grievances right now. We needed at least one of those. I guess the whole video kind of is that, but whatever. It's tips, okay? It's tips for you. I'm here for you. Oh, such a good one that I honestly didn't even write down. I have some notes here and I wanted to, this is so important, oh my God. Bots, scam bots, they are amok. It's insane. I've been wanting to like make a dedicated video about this for a really long time just to like let everybody know. I know that some other people have. I've seen James Welsh post about it, maybe in his community tab. I've seen Dr. Andrea, I think she did a whole video about it. Scam bots, dude. There are all these scam bots that will steal YouTubers, like large YouTubers' profile pictures, and then their username ends up being like, it'll be like, WhatsApp me, Alexandra Anele, and then it'll be like, you've won my giveaway. And it's all bullshit. It's just trying to get you to like click on a scam link or give you, I actually don't know because I've never like clicked on it, obviously. Maybe to click on a scam link, maybe to give you their like personal information or your address or like answer basically anything that they can like steal bank account information or something, I'm assuming. Those are scam bots. I don't do giveaways. It usually says like WhatsApp, regram, all these weird like, I don't know, there's a lot of like weird shit in there. That's another thing for you YouTube viewers out there. The scams are rampant right now. Email scams, text scams, calling scams, like there's so many of them going on right now. So you really want to keep that in mind. No giveaways. I have no giveaways going on. All you can do is report the account. I will report it multiple times and then block the user from my channel, but they're bots. So like new ones pop up immediately. And for whatever reason, I got into a fight with YouTube on Twitter about this. I specifically tweeted them and said, would it be possible to have some kind of like disclaimer pop up on YouTube? Like when the next time somebody opens up their YouTube app to let them know of these scams, because a lot of people don't even know. And they were like, I don't even think they responded to that actually. They were basically like, we're working on this. Just report and block. And it's like, okay, well, I'm a human. I can't keep up with the scams, bro. So here's another grievance. But that's a really important one to know. Don't click any links. Double check the usernames. If you see anything about a giveaway, I have a feeling that like most people are kind of avoiding giveaways because of these things. But it happens on like essentially every single one of my videos at some point. So I feel like they usually wait a couple hours, or it doesn't happen for like a couple hours. So I'm not like watching it. And then they'll go in and just reply to like random comments saying like, you've won my giveaway. Bullshit. It's all bullshit. In my my little note about checking the description, it says fucking duh, and in parentheses, she's bitter. She's bitter. With love, but she's bitter. Okay, next, my final tip, subject, I don't know, it's kind of tips. Again, this goes across like basically all social media platforms. And just the internet in general, but I'm a YouTuber and we're on YouTube, so you know what I mean? Is the algorithm. It's a bitch, bro. It really is. It seems to be wanting to work for us. That's what they want. They want it to work for us. No, they don't. They want it to make us buy stuff. But it works against us a lot of the time. Basically, if there's things you don't want to see or you're sick of seeing, you gotta stop clicking on them. I hear a lot of people complain about clickbaity videos, drama videos, all that kind of stuff. But they keep clicking it, they keep watching it. And so YouTube is gonna continue to show you that stuff. And then people will be like, I don't understand why I don't see more of this. I don't understand why I don't see more of this. Very unfortunately on YouTube, and I think I've talked about this I talked about this recently in a video, is for whatever reason, even if you're subscribed to somebody, YouTube is like, we're not gonna show you their content. So they make you go through all the ringers. Like you have to subscribe, you have to turn on the notification bell, you have to consistently give it likes, you have to consistently like leave comments, because YouTube isn't gonna show you things unless you are interacting with it regularly. This is a comment that I've gotten from a lot of people where they're like, you haven't uploaded in like 2 months. And I'm like, bro, I never take breaks. Like I upload like at least 2 videos a week for like the last, I don't even know how many years. I don't disappear. And then they go to my channel and they're like, I don't understand why YouTube hasn't been showing me your stuff. And it's because you haven't been interacting with it. It's super annoying because like the people who aren't living their lives on the internet, like the weird, crazy people who are like constantly having fights on the internet, end up being punished because like they don't want to live their lives on the internet. They don't want to constantly be like interacting with things because like they're probably like, I don't know, have a family and like a fucking job and like hobbies and like live outside of it. But then they're not shown the things that they want to be seeing when they do go on the platform because they're not like spending every waking moment on it. It's rude, to be completely honest. It's rude. So that is the sad reality. You have to interact at least a little bit to let YouTube know that you like want to see this stuff. And if you get sick of seeing the same things over and over again, this is another thing about the algorithm. This is something that drives me crazy about TikTok. I'll be scrolling on TikTok. I'll stop on one thing and watch it for like a couple seconds, and then I'll go to the next thing. I don't spend a whole lot of time on TikTok. And then they'll just, like, once they see like, oh, she stopped on a cat video, it's just like, that's all we're showing her. We're just showing her cats. She just wants to see cats. And I'm like, you're driving me insane. I don't just want to see this. Like, I want to see like random shit. Like I'm on TikTok, I'm on the internet. I want to see like the random stuff that's out there. Like there's a whole world. I don't want to just see cats because I stopped on one like adorable little cat, okay? So when it comes to YouTube, if YouTube is constantly showing you the same old things, you have to think outside the box and use your search bar. Search for something random. Search for, I don't know, just anything that you're interested in, you know? Like, you know, what's really a crazy thing to watch is like natural disasters. Bro, they get that shit on camera and it's wild. God, storm chasers? Like, what are you doing? I don't get it. Go home. So if you're getting sick of YouTube showing you the same old shit over and over again, you gotta switch it up. You gotta actively be looking for different things. They really make you work for it. I don't know why I still have a Facebook at this point. It's so stupid. I will see some like Facebook friends post this, like, it'll be like, post this if you're sick of seeing the same old ads over and over and over again. And it's like, Facebook is not showing you your friends because you're interacting with the stupid, like, the dodo videos or whatever, or you're stopping and interacting on, you know, an ad, something that's caught your eye. That's how the algorithm works. They're going to show you what you're interacting with. So what you have to do, if you're on Facebook, is go to your friends' pages, search for like friends that you actually want to see. It's the same thing with Instagram. Instagram shows me the same 5 people over and over again. So I have to like remember other people and then like go to their pages. It's annoying, but that's the way it goes. That fucking algorithm, bro. Oh man, my final tip. I think I said that was my final tip, but this one is my final tip for any internet user in general. I don't care where you are. I don't care what platform it is. Remember that, like, even though you think you're anonymous, you're really not. I received a really shitty message or comment from this woman. It's just one of those things where, like, when you open up your YouTube app or YouTube Studio, Creator Studio app or whatever the fuck it's called, and you open up comments, it just shows you, like, the most recent comment. So it could be, like, on a really old video. It could be on a brand new video. Anyway, it was on, like, a video from a little bit ago. She just said something shitty. I won't give any details so people don't like try to find her because like people are crazy, but her username was her full name, like first and last name. And I was just curious because I've seen this a lot on Facebook. I think I've mentioned this before. People who don't have like their profiles privated at all, they have all their information out there. So I went to Facebook and I searched her name, and sure enough, she was like the first person to come up, and I just like clicked on her profile and I could see photos of her grandkids, nieces, like, I don't know, family members at their schools, like super personal information. And there are so many people out there who just like have Facebook accounts that are just like not private. They're just like wide open for anyone to see. And so that's just something that I wanted to like end this with, is that like, if you are a person who's interacting with the internet and you're leaving shitty comments, or I don't know, if you're having a bad day or maybe you're a troll, maybe you are just like a regular person who's having a bad day, you're in a bad mood and you leave like a shitty comment on someone's whatever, you're really not anonymous, okay? A lot of people aren't. And those people seem to kind of forget that. Just keep in mind that like everyone out there is still people. We're all still people. Just because there's like an internet involved doesn't change that. So I would hope that my like biggest takeaway for this video for any of you would be, try to implement, if you're interacting with the internet in a negative way, try to implement how you would handle that situation if it were in person. And if you're a rational person and you're just kind of sitting back and you're watching all this dumpster fire, just remember that it's such a small group of people, and it does not reflect the majority of us out there. Think about like anytime you leave the house and you are having an interaction, generally they're probably relatively positive, neutral at best or at worst. Sometimes you get that asshole, and I feel like it's usually in a car because the cars do the same thing. They like remove the human element for whatever reason and people like lose their minds. These are all psychological things that we should be aware of and be thinking about when we're like interacting with this stuff. Okay, that became a little bit of a rant at the end. But hopefully someone took something away from this video. I don't know. I hope it was helpful. There were some things that I wanted to get off my chest, and I think that there's a lot of stuff out there that people don't necessarily like keep in mind or think about, or they kind of have to remind themselves of. That's it. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if this is something that I want to do more. I want to do, like, when I'm doing my base and I'm like getting ready to film other stuff, I want to just chat to you about stuff. So if you have any topics that you'd like me to cover, I think this is something that I would like to do. If not, or if you're not interested, you'll let me know. You'll let me know. Great talk, you guys. I'm gonna head on out. Bye.